You think there's some folks in Albuquerque this morning going, maybe we shouldn't have given Steve Alford that 10-year contract extension. Because what a pathetic, lackluster, lazy performance by his Lobos last night as they get stunned by Harvard. Harvard, out of the Ivy Leagues. Harvard takes care of business. Who thought New Mexico should have been a number 3 seed? Not me. Not me. And of course, guess who had Harvard last night? Yep, you know it. Brian Rosica did it again, guys. I mean, it's like a broken record, as I keep telling you, but it's a record we want to keep playing. That's for damn sure. Because Rosica last night, 75-dime winner, number 9 out of 11. Harvard with the outright upset. What was his previous 75-dime winner? It was in the NITs 2 nights ago. St. John's outright over St. Joe's. That's a 6.5-point dog. And, as he says himself, the epic run continues today with winner number 8 in a row. And 23 out of 27. And it's an 80-dime play. It's the second biggest play he's released. He is a perfect 4-0 with these releases. Just hit an 80-dime winner on Wednesday night in NIT action. Arizona State laying 3.5 by 15 in Tempe over the University of Detroit. This play is just as strong. Again, 80-dime winner number 5 in a row. Overall winner number 8 in a row and 23 out of 27. And guys, the bankroll just keeps growing. You have had to win an absolute fortune following this guy because since he joined the site back on February 5th, and remember, this is a guy who was a former line maker at one of the biggest offshore sports books in the world based out of Costa Rica, gave it up after a little over a year, moved back to Vegas. I met him through Anthony Red, joined the site on February 5th, and since then he's gone 28-7, making $10 players over $15,000. Again, winner number 8 in a row and 23 out of 27, his second biggest play. 80-dime winner number 5 in a row. It's on the afternoon card. Hi, everyone. Al DeMarco here, and this, of course, is going to be your Friday video report. Let me also tell you about today's promotion right at the top. Half-price play of the day release. It's something that I started doing about 4.5 weeks ago. You know, yesterday, I always tell you the good, I got to tell you the bad. Yesterday, after these half-price play of the day releases had hit between a 75 and 80% clip in the first 4 weeks, they went 0-2 yesterday. Matt Rivers was going for a 9th straight 400,000 star winner. He had Oklahoma State against Oregon. That came up lame. Brad Wilton was on the wrong side of the Harvard-Clemson game with his biggest college basketball release of the season. That came up lame. So they went 0-2 yesterday. So that means they're probably hitting at about, closer to a 74% clip since I started giving you the half-price play of the day specials. And 3 of them in the past week and a half have come from Jeff Benton, who today, forget about winning day number 7 out of 9, today, 100-dime college basketball winner number 11 out of 12. Now, that's over the past 2 years. He went 8-1 last year, capping the big dance with Kentucky over Kansas. He is 2 for 2 with 100-dime releases so far this season. He cashed in with Syracuse. Every time I got to talk about this, it kills me because I was on the wrong side of this game last Friday. Syracuse outright easily over, well, not easily, but over Georgetown in overtime last Friday night. And then another 100-dime winner on Miami of Florida in the ACC championship game over North Carolina on Sunday. This play is just as strong. You got those 2 plays at half price. You're going to get today's 100-dime winner, number 3 in a row this season, number 11 out of 12 in college basketball the past 2 years combined for half price. All you've got to do is use coupon code Jeff4450, Jeff4450, and you will get that play for half price today. That's a 100-dime play, guys. I can't save you any more money than that. And keep in mind, Jeff Benton, 18-9 in the big dance the past 3 seasons combined after cashing in yesterday with a 40-dime winner, number 9 out of 13 with St. Louis crushing New Mexico State by 20 points. And college basketball bettors are up over $7,500 the past 2.5 years. Okay, before I go any further, let's talk about the opening day of the dance. Yesterday, favorites, 9 wins, underdogs, 7 covers, okay? Double-digit favorites, 3 and 2. But let's talk about those underdogs, guys. 7 underdogs yesterday covered the number. 5 of them won outright. California over UNLV. Of course, Harvard upsetting New Mexico. Colorado State over Missouri. Oregon delivering, of course, against Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State. Wichita State upsetting Pittsburgh. And how about what I want to call the teams of destiny, the trendy teams. Actually not teams of destiny, the trendy teams. The teams that all the analysts and the bracketologists and the amateur gamblers out there talked about, had all the media attention. How did they do yesterday? Belmont, not even close against Arizona. Who was another one? Yesterday, South Dakota State. Come on, seriously? I'm watching the four-letter network on Sunday after the selection of the tournament was announced. Some people thought South Dakota State was actually going to give Michigan a real battle. Trey Burke played awful yesterday, and Michigan still got the job done because Tim Hardaway stepped up and delivered. When you've got an outstanding backcourt, you've got a great chance in the big dance. That's the bottom line. That's the key to success. You've got to have two excellent guards and or a dominating center and strong post play. That's your formula for success here when you get into the tournament. Bucknell, very, very trendy pick. Yeah, well, Butler showed you they can't beat St. Louis. They can't often get by VCU, but they took care of business yesterday. Davidson, that was the one. My goodness, Davidson should have beaten Marquette. Marquette's such a bad team. I mean, seriously, Marquette did nothing really impressive during the regular season. It showed. So the trendy teams went 1-3 yesterday. Earlier in this week, I told you one of the things that I always consider in the big dance is that you've got to look for teams that struggled on the road during the regular season. Because even though these are neutral site games, well, tough luck, guys. If they're not playing in their hometown, on their home campus, in their hometown gymnasium, it's a road game. And what happened yesterday? Missouri, a team that could not win on the road all season this year in the SEC, didn't win yesterday. Getting dominated underneath by Colorado State. On the boards, and Colorado State rolls in that one. Who's another team? UNLV. UNLV, a team that has been pathetic. I think they were 4-16 against the spread in their last 20 true road games. Going into yesterday's contest against California, they lose that game outright. And really, when you consider it, New Mexico lost at Air Force, lost at UNLV, scored only 35 points at San Diego State. New Mexico. Do we have to say more about the Lobos' effort against Harvard last night? We got another team like that playing today. Minnesota and UCLA. I'm going to talk about that game in just a moment. It's going to be one of my free picks. A couple other things. Craig Davis, on Wednesday, you got his charity play of the week winner, a 30-dime winner, number 8 out of 9, as he scored with Weber State by 42 points. 42 points. Weber State wins over Cal Poly Slow on Wednesday. That was the charity play of the week. You got that play for free. And by the way, if you haven't made a donation, it's time to ante up, guys. Whether you get $5, $15, $50, whatever, you got to play for $69 for free on Wednesday. Scroll down the page. You'll see the story about a family that needs some help as their 4-year-old son is battling a rare type of cancer, and they need some financial support to cover their traveling expenses to a hospital in New York, where he's scheduled to have surgery here later this month. Yesterday, he followed right up with a 50-dime winner. Number 16 out of 21 as Memphis. You talk about a team that gave bettors agita yesterday. Memphis laying 1.5 winning, holding on, winning by 2 against St. Mary's yesterday as the Gales, top 3-point shooter, misses a shot at the buzzer that could have delivered the win. Well, today he's going for winning day number 15 out of 19. It's his second biggest college basketball release of the season. It's a 75-dime dog shocker. And $10 bettors have won $7,995 following Craig's betting advice since November. They've won $4,220 of that amount in college basketball alone. Chris Jordan, highest rated college basketball play of the season, a rare 1,000-star release, number 2 in a row. Cincinnati and Creighton. That game, of course, goes, let me check. 2:45 Eastern Time today. His first one was Northeastern outright over William and Mary back on February 11th. 11-5 run with 1,000-star top-rated plays in all sports combined. After hitting 2 out of 3 300-star yesterday with Davidson and Memphis and losing with Pitt. $1 bettors up over $11,000 following his advice since 2006. And Shawn Michaels on a 5-1-1 college basketball roll the past 2 weeks. After scoring yesterday with Memphis, he has a 25-dime winner on Creighton and Cincinnati today. So those are among some of the hot handicappers for you here. Let's get to your free picks, guys. Let's start with that Minnesota UCLA contest. It goes at 9:55 Eastern Time in Austin, Texas here tonight. Boy, they have the South by Southwest Festival last week, and now they have tournament action today. Austin is a happening place, guys. Minnesota, awful on the road, as I alluded to earlier. But here's the deal. UCLA can't rebound. Okay? Very, very weak rebounding team. One of the worst in the Pac-12. They just don't hit the rack. And UCLA also struggling, I think, today. Because, listen, Jordan Adams, their second leading scorer, averaging over 15 points a game. He is out with a broken foot. Suffered in the semifinals of the Pac-12 tournament, which they didn't play well in the quarterfinals of the semis anyway. And then they got taken to the woodshed in the championship game by Oregon. And Oregon can't rebound at all either. I think this is a good spot. Listen, this is a Minnesota team that beat Indiana, beat Wisconsin, beat Michigan State this year. Minnesota can play well. They play a physical style of ball. I just don't think a UCLA team that is very thin. You know, they were only going with a 7-man rotation before Jordan Adams went out. So now they're down to 6 guys, and they're asking for a freshman who's going to have to probably contribute some significant minutes here today against Tubby Smith's team, which is a postseason tested team, at least, with far more experience and a very youthful UCLA squad. I just don't think Travis and David Ware, they're 2 big post players who play like, small forwards. I don't think they're going to be able to contend with Minnesota's bulk down low. So I'm going to go with Minnesota. But, of course, the warning again. This team sucks on the road, and they're in Austin tonight. That's a long way from Minneapolis. But Minnesota minus 3 points. That's going to be your first free selection today. Your next free play is going to be, let's see. I like Ole Miss. I'm looking at the line here against Wisconsin. They're a considerable underdog. I like to ride teams occasionally in the big dance that finish the season on an upswing. It's no different than riding teams that finish the NFL regular season going up the hill towards the Super Bowl pursuit. And listen, this Mississippi team played well down the stretch in the SEC tournament, pulled off the stunning upset of Florida. I know Wisconsin is going to try to slow down the pace of the game. I mean, if we still had the shot clock, Wisconsin would probably like to score 31 points a game, okay? As it is, they probably score about 48 points a game. I mean, Bo Ryan's just going to slow down the pace of this game because Mississippi wants to get out there and run. I do think Mississippi is going to be able to hold its own on the boards here today, and that's why I'm willing to go with Ole Miss plus the points against Wisconsin in this game that's being played in Kansas City on the afternoon card. I think it goes at 12:40 Eastern Time. And then your final free selection today, guys, I battled back and forth on this particular play, and finally I decided to go with Kansas State against LaSalle. And one of the reasons I'm going with K-State here today is that, LaSalle, a 4-guard team, minus its starting center, who has missed the final 2 games of the regular season and Atlantic 10 tournament, also didn't play the other night against Boise State. In a game against Boise State, you had a 4-guard team against a 4-guard team, okay? That being Boise and LaSalle. LaSalle's guards were simply more athletic, and they delivered. And that's why LaSalle was able to win the play-in game the other night. But the thing is, today, they're going against a Kansas State team that is, strong defensively. I mean, this is a Kansas State team. I just want to look up numbers here. In the Big 12, they... let's see, what did they do? Let me just look at their spread stats here. Yeah, their defense gave up a league-low 60.5 points a game this season. Now, on the other hand, LaSalle was last in the Atlantic 10 in terms of their field goal defense. I think Rodney Magruder and the Wildcats in this one, a 5.5-point favorite. I think they're a little undervalued here. I think LaSalle's going to give them a good effort. But I do believe Kansas State is going to be able to pull away, win that game by, somewhere in the 8 or 9-point category. I mean, listen, Kansas State finished the season strong. I mean, the only teams they couldn't beat this year in their last 11 games. They lost twice to Kansas. They lose to Kansas all the time, okay? And they lost to Oklahoma State. Otherwise, they beat all comers in the last 6 weeks of the season. So I'm going to go with Kansas State as your final free pick. That game goes at 3:10 Eastern Time on your afternoon card. So that'll do it, guys. Back bright and early on Saturday morning when we do this once more.